Hello, you're watching QPVN News. I'm Anh Tuấn and we keep you up to date with the headlines. No one left alone in hardships. Building a modern, compact and capable electronic warfare force. Vietnam and India beef up defense cooperation. On the afternoon of November the 29th, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính visited and encouraged residents in Hòa Thịnh Commune, Đắk Lắk Province, the locality hardest hit by the historic floods in recent days. The delegation included General Nguyễn Tân Cương, Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army and Deputy Defense Minister, along with leaders of ministries, agencies and local authorities. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính and the government's working delegation visited families whose houses were completely destroyed by the floods. The Prime Minister expressed sympathy for the people's losses, attentively listened to their concerns and proposals. He affirmed that he would direct agencies from the central to local levels to urgently ensure new and safe housing for affected residents. The Prime Minister then met with military and public security forces who are directly engaged in post-flood recovery efforts. He praised the timely and proactive response of functional forces, especially Military Region 5 and the Ministry of National Defense units for promptly entering the flooded areas to help people. He urged the forces to continue maximizing their effort to help residents stabilize their lives as soon as possible. The Prime Minister listened to reports from functional agencies on models and plans for rebuilding collapsed houses and repairing damaged ones. He emphasized that reconstruction must incorporate flood prevention measures and ensure safety, durability and suitability to local conditions. The Prime Minister and the working delegation also visited Phú Hữu Hamlet, Hòa Thịnh Commune, to offer incense and extend condolences to the families of victims who lost their lives in the floods. He shared the profound grief of the families and requested local authorities to provide long-term support for them. The Prime Minister visited, encouraged and presented gifts to the people in the flooded area of Hòa Thịnh Commune. He hoped that with the tradition of solidarity, the people would soon overcome the pain and loss to stabilize their lives. He reaffirmed that the government, ministries, agencies and local authorities will never leave the people alone in times of hardship and instructed forces to continue staying in the area, help people repair houses, restore livelihoods, secure essential supplies and ensure social welfare after the floods. Later in the afternoon, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired an online meeting with the four provinces of Gia Lai, Đắk Lắk, Khánh Hòa and Lâm Đồng on disaster prevention and recovery measures. On November the 29th in Da Nang, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended the plenary session of the Vietnam Logistics Forum 2025 with the theme Vietnam Logistics Embarking on the New Era. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính pledged that the government would implement 5 principles contributing to creating a smart, modern, green, digital, competitive, effective national logistics ecosystem. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính and delegates attended the launching ceremony to support people affected by natural disasters in the Central and Central Highlands. Over $11,000 will be transferred by the Vietnam Fatherland Front Committee of Da Nang City to those people. 500 delegates discussed the situation of Vietnam's logistics industry, achievements, difficulties, obstacles, and proposed specific solutions, promoting cooperation between logistic enterprises and localities. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính pointed out that Vietnam's logistic industry still has shortcomings and limitations, requiring innovation in development thinking, in line with the spirit of the Vietnam Logistics Services Development Strategy recently issued by the Prime Minister. This morning, the National Assembly Standing Committee convened the first Patriotic Emulation Congress 2025-2030, chaired by National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, with the participation of Permanent Vice Chairman Đỗ Văn Chiến, Deputy Prime Minister Phạm Thị Thanh Trà, and other National Assembly leaders. During the 2020-2025 period, the Standing Committee's immolation and commendation work achieved notable political and legal results, reflecting a strong spirit of innovation. Movements were launched in close alignment with core duties, especially the initiative, proactive legislation, effective supervision, timely decisions, breakthrough development, which became a signature motto of the 15th National Assembly, fostering unity and improving performance across all levels. Chairman Chen Teng-min stressed that 2025-2030 will require continued renewal of working methods and higher quality in legislation, supervision and decision-making. Immolation efforts must, therefore, focus on strengthening the legal foundation, accelerating digital transformation, and developing a capable and modern legislative workforce. Coming up next, building a modern, compact and capable electronic warfare force. Vietnam and India beef up defense cooperation. On November the 29th at Phu Quoc Special Zone, An Giang Province, the Navy held the closing ceremony of the competition for outstanding maritime militia fleets in 2025, with the participation of standing militia fleets of Military Region 4, 5, 7 and 9. The content of the competition was organized in the form of combining theoretical and practical tests, performing tests at the wharf and at sea, evaluation from the entire fleet operations to each position. The standing militia fleets promoted good spirit and responsibility, ensured safety and gained many good experiences to improve the quality of training. In the modernization of the Vietnam People's Army, electronic warfare has been identified as one of the forces advancing straight to modernity. This requires every officer and soldier to continually improve their skills, resilience, and professional competence. Recently, the Department of Electronic Warfare organized the 2025 military sports competition to comprehensively assess the performance capabilities of its personnel. In an era of high-tech warfare, where the electromagnetic spectrum determines the effectiveness of all combat operations, electronic warfare soldiers must have physical strength, intellect, and technological proficiency. This year's competition was not simply a contest, but also served as a real-world test of how well each unit can adapt to modernization requirements. The system of events was designed for comprehensive evaluation, from regulation and physical fitness to professional proficiency. This year, we updated the assessment to better reflect real-world conditions, organizing electronic warfare detachment to counter unmanned aerial vehicles in defense of key targets. The consecutive events provided a practical test of each team's coordination, precision, and combat readiness. The competitive atmosphere allowed officers and soldiers to exchange experience and improve training methods. Our unit prepared thoroughly before entering the competition. All teams were reminded to uphold solidarity, learn from one another, and strive to achieve the best possible results. Through this competition, units also had the opportunity to review their training methods, adjust technical procedures, and evaluate the actual capabilities of each individual. This is an essential step toward building an electronic warfare force that is modern, streamlined, and strong, fully aligned with the requirements. Next, we bring you updates on the continued support efforts from agencies and units for residents in flood-affected areas. A convoy from the Hanoi Capital Command transported 30 tons of relief goods to Zalai Province. This shipment was donated by the people of the capital city through the Hanoi Fatherland Front Committee's appeal to support Zalai, a locality heavily affected by recent floods. Throughout the journey, the convoy had to move continuously across challenging terrain, including rough roads, winding passes, and steep slopes. During the historic floods in Khánh Hòa and Đắk Lắk, Naval Region 4 deployed over 1,000 officers and sailors with hundreds of vehicles, rescuing more than 6,000 residents. Alongside evacuation efforts, the unit coordinated with the Navy, businesses and benefactors to deliver thousands of relief packages, essential supplies, hot meals, medicines, and over 1.5 billion Vietnam dong in cash, plus several tons of rice, water, and dry food, worth billions of dong in total. As the waters receded, forces immediately moved to recovery work, cleaning and disinfecting nearly 50 schools, public offices, and hundreds of houses. In recent years, the Vietnam-India defense cooperation has become one of the pivotal pillars of the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries. Based on the long-standing friendship, political trust, and mutual understanding, bilateral defense cooperation has been continuously consolidated and developed in a substantive, comprehensive, and effective manner, achieving practical results in many fields, including peacekeeping cooperation. Vietnam and India established diplomatic relations in 1972 and upgraded the relations to comprehensive strategic partnership in 2016. The cooperation in defense security has always been developed into depth and substantiveness. Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh paid an official visit to Vietnam in June 2022 to mark the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries. On this occasion, the two sides signed a joint vision statement on defense partnership until 2030. The official visit to India by General Phan Van Giang, Minister of National Defense of Vietnam, in June 2023 helped beef up defense cooperation between the two countries to a new height. Vietnam is an important partner in the Act East policy of India. The two countries have reaped fruitful results in such fields as exchanges of delegations, especially high-level ones, implementation of existing cooperation mechanisms, including the defense policy dialogue at the deputy ministerial level, the consultation of Army, Navy and Air Force staff officers of those in defense industry and strategic research.
Talking about India and Vietnam, so as we speak, we share a comprehensive strategic partnership. And interestingly, the next year we'll be celebrating 10 years of this comprehensive strategic partnership. And in 2027, we'll be celebrating 55 years of diplomatic relations between both our countries. Presently, we have our joint vision statement 2030, which is guiding our defense relationship, in which we are cooperating at multiple levels. We have Army to Army staff talks, Navy to Navy staff talks, Air Force staff talks, and we also cooperate with both the Coast Guards. So it's and in multiple fields, be it bilateral exercises, be it capacity building, be it defense industrial cooperation.
The two countries have also been promoting cooperation in UN peacekeeping operations by implementing fully and effectively all contents within the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in UN Peacekeeping Operations signed between Vietnam and India in 2016 and the agreement reached between the Vietnam Department of Peacekeeping Operations and the Indian Center for UN Peacekeeping in 2020. Regularly exchanging experience in UN peacekeeping operation, as well as information on field missions that Vietnam has been deploying troops to and successfully co-organizing exercises on peacekeeping, including the Vietnam-India Bilateral Army Exercise VIET. VIET's 2025 themed engineering units coordinating with relevant components in performing tasks at a UN peacekeeping mission aims to build professional capacity, coordination and field exercise organization for engineering forces, medical forces and search and rescue forces preparing for deployment to UN peacekeeping missions. It also contributes to enhancing the good defense cooperation between Vietnam and India in the field of UN peacekeeping within the framework of the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries. It can be affirmed that Vietnam-India defense cooperation is developing in a practical manner and becoming a bright spot in the overall relationship between the two countries. The fact that Vietnam and India co-organized the bilateral peacekeeping exercise in rotational and on an annual basis proves the high level of political trust, the substantive and effective bilateral defense cooperation, as well as the commitment of both countries to the cause of peacekeeping for peace, stability, and prosperity in the region and the world. This is the end of the QPVN News today. Remember to watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.